I guess I need the
Yep.
go live button.
I've
Probably be
got it.
in
Yeah.
the tab myself because I need to make sure that it is alive.
And it's
Because
frozen.
then suddenly get an echo.
There we go.
All right. I mean, I see myself. Is anyone in the chat? I see a few people in the chat. I think, unless YouTube is lying to me. But it might just be us. All right. You just updated the view count. It looks like we're at 0. Lovely. So how about we give ourselves a few minutes before introducing? I'm gonna see if I
Yeah,
can get
but
like an actual Bayonetta save file going because I've never played this game before.
not nor me. I have to admit I've never played it. The only way I'm familiar with it is when it was that whole controversy came out about it.
Oh, the voice actress.
Yeah,
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 and it came out that she was
uh,
actually being paid like 10 times the normal rate.
yeah. It's not really. I don't know really. It's not really on the platform I ever played. So no, I've never really been into Nintendo. Unless it wasn't on Nintendo, I can't remember. Like I said, never played it. First time seeing
I mean, it's a
any.
Sega thing. I swear that it was on the Wii, or maybe it got ported. Maybe one of the sequels got ported. Obviously, I'm on Steam right now.
That was the other reason I knew about it, because it was in a Wii exclusive, I think.
I think that's
I
when I
might be
got
wrong
it.
on that.
Dude, I love buying old
Yeah.
games. Oh my god, this is live.
Oh,
What
it's
are the
like
controls? It just throws me in with no, like, here's the attack buttons.
it's, it's reminiscent of like those early '90s games that just don't tell you anything. You just have to figure it out as you go along.
I mean, it's playing like Devil May Cry so far. I think I'll survive.
That's another game series I never actually played. Devil May Cry.
Bruh, play Devil May Cry 4. It's really good.
I'll have to give it a go. It's just I don't know, the styling doesn't really. I don't know.
What, you don't like, the time has come and so have I?
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, I mean, I probably will warm up to it, but we'll see. I'll have to. Well, I'll
How's the
just give it
game
a
volume,
whirl
by
and.
the way? I have it set low so that I can actually hear you, because this is supposed to be like a chat stream.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm an expert speedrunner or something. Oh, that's an actual monster. Okay. Lessons learned. I thought that was just cool stage.
Cool monster design.
Agreed.
I like that. Yeah.
Honestly, I know more about Bayonetta from Super Smash Bros. Than anything else. We do have one viewer now at this point, so why don't you introduce me? I think everyone here knows who I am.
Uh, well, or one of you.
Yeah, I know, right? Great, isn't it? Don't you love streaming on small channels?
I've officially doubled my audience count, so that's fine. And, yeah, my name's Michael. I'm an aspiring author. I've produced a couple of stories for a couple of magazines. I won't go into details why.
Let me stop you there real fast. Are you aspiring or have you published?
Oh no, I've published. Yeah.
All right, so you're a
I have
struggling
published
author.
Yeah, struggling. Yeah.
I feel that.
I think every author struggles initially, and
Tell
yeah,
that to what's his name who wrote Aragon. Like the teenager who exploded into stardom because he wrote decently okay epic fantasy.
I don't know what to make of Aragon. It's one of those things that
Puberty hit him weird, and
yeah,
his series went weird. That's what I have to say about Aragon.
yeah, pretty much my views on it. But no, it's I produced a couple of short stories for a couple of magazines. Like I said, I won't go into details why that fell through. And now I've got a main novel I'm hoping to release late this year once I've got a few things sorted out. Yeah, sort of trying to balance that along with earning a living, 5 days a week, and then doing well, sort of outside hobbies, go to the gym, taking up
Right on.
boxing recently. So Yeah, hoping to.
Dude, Full Metal Alchemist. Oh my god, I actually can't remember the quote, but the key to a healthy mind is a healthy body.
Yeah, exactly. And as someone who weighed over 200 pounds a few years ago, I can agree with that.
Hold on, whoa, excuse me.
Yeah.
You add some stuff. You're British, right? Measure in stone, so I don't get offended.
Okay, so I used to weigh just a shade over 18 stone, and now I weigh a shade under 15. So
Nice.
lost all that weight.
Big
And
percentage
like I
difference.
said,
That doesn't have any correlation to whether or not I am hiding a gut right now.
well, I've still got a little bit of one. It's just not as bad. So it's nice to be able to like walk to the kitchen and not be out of breath. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said.
I need to work out more. That's why I have that channel on my Gilded for specifically for fitness.
Yeah. It's I know where you're coming from. The hardest part of it is initially taking that first step.
The first step's easy. It's like the second step I get.
Yeah, it's the consistency.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
before
I'm trying to.
COVID, I was like 185 pounds. I am no longer under 200 to say the least. And I remember the mental clarity and the daily energy I had at the time. And I want it back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like now I've lost all this weight. I wake up and I don't still feel tired, or I've got more motivation to do things, and it's just I can't explain how bad I felt back then compared to now. The only way you can find out is if you do that, and I don't recommend you do that at all. Despite what they tell you, being fat is not healthy. Okay, it really isn't.
But is it beautiful at all sizes?
No.
Okay, by the way, I may have made a grave mistake. This is actually too quiet for me to hear what they're saying at all. I have no concept of what's going on in this cutscene right
now. Not me.
I think there was thousands of years. She was fighting demons. Now it's in present day. Looks like they're trying to resurrect her or something. I think we're going to be ad-libbing the plot today.
Yeah, I think we probably will be.
So, allegedly, since we're filling in plot anyways, you're a writer, which means you're a reader, right?
No, I'm just struggling to find out why Javier from Red Dead 2 is talking to her.
You can hear... Oh, is that... Are you hearing the voice actor, or do you just think he looks
his hat.
What, you don't like bowler hats? Can only one person wear bowler hats?
No, I think bowler hats are cool.
We need to bring hats back into fashion. The overweight neckbeard atheist meme really destroyed fedoras, like, forever.
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite a big beard. It's well trimmed. It's not a neck beard, and I didn't grow one for ages purely because they became remember like the soy beards as they were, but everyone had to have a big beard, or they had like the twirly mustache, like dashing rogue highwayman at the ends and twisted and stuff like that, and they just put me off growing one. And I said, no, I'm gonna grow one. It looks alright on me. I don't care.
I look better with a beard. It's not even close. I look horrible clean shaven.
Oh, I do.
I mean, hello, Hans Hugren. You're new, I think. I don't think I recognize that name. Welcome.
Yeah.
Maybe someone in chat will be able to backseat what the hell the plot is. Moonraker? I think I've seen that name before. Y'all are gonna learn real hard and real fast that I'm actually horrible with names.
Yeah, the Moonraker's me, by the way. That's me talking in chat.
Hmm,
So,
that makes sense.
if you want some history behind why the Moonraker exists, I'll tell you. It's actually a name given to the natives where I come from in England.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds interesting.
yeah, back in, I'm trying to remember the date. I think it was Georgian times, if I remember correctly, around about that. It was almost like a prohibition sort of thing. They were moonshiners, and it was a town called Devizes. There's a big pond there. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And they hid the barrels of the moonshine under the pond, and they had this rake. And like the authorities come along, and they like these yokels or peasants and that, ask them what they're doing, and they just said they're raking the moon off the lake, or trying to. Then they believed
Nice.
them. Yeah. Yeah, they were crafty old sorts. Must have been. Yeah, that's where the name
So
Moonraker
I'm
comes from.
outside Detroit, and there were rumors forever that you could still find secret moonshiner capsules, basically in barrels underneath the Detroit River, because they would bring it in through Canada, and every once in a while they broke off and were just lost on the bottom of the river.
If it ain't my good
I think a few were recovered. I don't think any more are ever gonna be found. But prohibition leads to a lot of strange stories.
back in that hole chasing after the money.
Oh, no, I mean, there's I don't know if you've seen Count Dankler's video on Iron Mike Malloy, and just some of the things they used to make alcohol from. Scary, scary stuff. And like you said, it's wasn't that how Al Capone got most of his fortune from? Was beer running, if you want to call it that?
God, I read a biography on Capone. Yeah, it was running speakeasies as well as like prostitute. Can I just point out, we're going on like minute 5 of a cutscene at the start of a game.
Bayonetta.
What is going on?
I don't know. It's,
They made games different back in 2009. Welcome, Ranger.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.
I mean, at least it is like generally a cutscene. I mean, it's not like I tried playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla a few months ago. I bought it off my mate for a tenner, and honestly, they just replaced cutscenes with just walking and listening. It's pretty much exactly the same thing,
Quality.
if you know what I mean. It's like,
it's
oh,
all-
see,
Yes, more people are tuning in. All the Bayonetta transformation and long legs are drawing them in.
oh dear.
Maybe eventually I'll get to actually play this game.
Yeah, okay. I know. I mean, 2009 up until I'm trying to think. 2012? Most games were pretty much like this, like cutscenes or they have quick time events, I remember. And then it's sort of replaced cutscenes, like I said, with walking segments. I mean, I love The Witcher 3, but there is a lot of just walking and sort of, yeah, you're interacting with the character, but you're not doing anything, if that makes sense. I'm just walking and I'm talking to, well, Geralt's talking to Triss and stuff like that. I think to myself that I get it, but can you just show all this in a cutscene?
I'm very tempted to skip, but this is my first time playing, even though I can't hear the voices.
Why she got a lollipop?
Japan.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's an interesting game. It's a
If I'm
different
going to
style.
get some kind of OS violation for a game available on Steam. This was sold in like on every kid's game store console. Oh, now it teaches me.
Okay, well, it'd be nice to have known about, what, 10 minutes ago?
Oh, there's the X button.
Nah, I remember when games looked like this. It was great, wasn't it? It really was. No one cared. It was like going
Oh my
back and
god,
playing
that's a lot of
Red Alert
combos.
2. Reminds me of
Oh, I do have a
like the
dodge
combos
button.
and. I think about. I was thinking the other day. I would love to fire up my old the original Xbox and play Return of the King again and the Two Towers. I love those games. This
What
game
was
makes
this?
me want to do it even more.
Apparently, it has started storming again. Hopefully, my basement does not start leaking again. Who's up here?
Well, if it does, you
that's
just
a
say
cool
go
area.
waterside property.
Okay, I'm totally down with these.
It's pretty fun game to play. I'd try it out.
They haven't actually given me a health bar yet. Oh, I'm fighting
Like
angels. You know, if I'd been able to hear the dialogue at any point, I might have known that.
It's pretty metal. In a minute.
I need to get better at that. It seems like almost the entire game is going to rely on my ability to activate Witch Time.
Don't know if I like that. Which time
So I
just
feel like
sounds
I'm
like the slow.
playing Sonic now.
Yeah. It's like which time sounds like the slow-mo time from Fable, or as I like to call it, easy mode.
Oh, wasn't that from a spell, though?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, time magic is so dangerous. Like, my understanding is the Cyberpunk 2077 game is entirely trivialized by Reflex Boost. Because it gives you slow-mo.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. It's ridiculous how overpowered that ability is, and yeah, I get it. It sounds silly. I get it's a future and you have implants and stuff like this, but it kind of ruins the game. It definitely breaks it. And I found myself, especially when I was Fable 3, I had exactly the same problem where I had to go out of my way to take things out of combat to make it challenging. And I had that with Cyberpunk, where I was like, well, I'm gonna force myself not to use this or this, and it did make the game, combat, quite challenging. If I was to use everything, like you said, use the reflexes and stuff like that. Gorilla Arms was another one, or the Nano Blade, especially Gorilla Arms. Yeah, it gets boring. And you're like, well, where's the challenge? You know?
What? Okay. Oh my god, this is actually like amazing.
Oh yeah, she has like a gun stilettos or something like that. I remember that. Of course she has them.
I can learn this. Okay.
Well, I can see why the game was popular. Imagine if they made this now. Oh my word, the meltdown.
They literally just released one with. I don't think there was anything like ESG updates to censor it in the latest release. It was just the kerfuffle over voice actor pay.
I'll be honest, there's not many games that come out these days that do actually get me excited. The last one that got me excited was Halo Infinite, and what a letdown.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
We
No,
are
I
in a
had,
really weird time where I genuinely can't think of a big studio game that has been worth paying money. I don't even mean like, is it worth $70 like Forspoken claim? I mean like any amount of money.
Yeah, it's not even worth the disc is printed on. So, trying to think. I mean, like I said, I paid a tenner for Valhalla, and I still felt that was £10 too much. Trying to think what else I've got recently that I think the last one I actually had a really good time with.
Do I just jump?
At full price, Hitman.
I've never actually
Hitman
played a
3.
Hitman game.
Oh, they're brilliant. A lot of trial and error, but they are good.
So I have watched Atrioc, I think, do a bunch of speedruns of them before some drama happened and he had a little fall from grace, which I don't remember what happened. A lot of streamers made a kerfuffle about it. I don't know. But it looked like the Hitman collection, like once you really studied it, was very
Oh yeah, it is fun. It's once you figure it out, it does make it quite trivial, but it's the figuring it out part that sort of draws you in. And then the levels as well. It's like a proper.
Yeah, the levels looked cool, but like when you're solving the level in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that is the problem. Probably, I think Blood Money might be my favorite one. I haven't played that for a long time. Absolution.
Now, is there like a reasonable plot to Hitman?
I'd say so. Yeah.
I like the memes where it's just like, oh, so and so died. Good work, Agent 47. Now get out of here. Right? Good meme material. Oops.
Yeah.
No, without a health bar, I'm really struggling to care.
The new, well, I suppose the new trilogy, or 2016 to the IO Interactive trilogy, had a good plot. I must admit, I liked it anyway. Absolutions, I didn't like too much. I must admit. I mean, I played through Absolution twice. I thought it was okay. It just lacked in the like. It wasn't a Hitman game. It was a good game, but not a very good Hitman game. And I want to say good. I mean, I don't mean like, oh, it's super fantastic. It was passable. At push. You know what I mean? It had its fun moments. Blood Money, like I said, easily I'd say probably the best one.
All right. So here's a writerly question for you. Can you name at least a moment in a game that could only be done storytelling-wise correctly because it was a video game? Like, as a medium for telling stories, is there anything that video games, in your opinion, are better at than, say, film?
Better than film. Probably, I'd say tension and suspense.
Okay, well, what game did it right?
Thief, Deadly Shadows, Shellbridge Cradle.
I feel like I'm going to be haunted by Thief for the fact that I haven't played it.
You are.
Ever since the Long Moonlight review, people are just like, excuse me? What do you mean you haven't played Thief?
The only one I would say where a film has done it better is Alien. Alien. I don't think you'll ever come close to how I first. I mean, going by my experience, I was a lot more. I played Alien Isolation, and I had the film sort of put the tension and the horror into me more than the game did. That's because I know like you can get away from the alien, and if it does catch you, you will get it. But then eventually you get a flamethrower and you can chase it away. What I like about the first Alien film is that even though they tried, and it's why I don't like the second one, even though they did have weapons like flamethrower and stuff like this, like it didn't matter. The aliens still got them anyway. And I felt in the game as soon as like you killed the alien, and then another one comes along. Spoiler alerts, by the way. If you haven't played it, if you haven't played it by now, that's your problem, as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, another one comes along, and then you're in the nest, but you realise, well, hang on a minute, like these things can be killed now, so it kind of takes the tension away, if that makes sense. That's
yeah, I have found that for horror and suspense like that, as soon as you actually understand the mechanics, the entire thing breaks.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Amnesia: The Dark Descent from 15 years ago at this point?
I did, but I played it a couple of times ago. When it first came out, I was hooked.
It's really good until you realize that the monster only spawns when there are hiding spots. If you're just in a hall, it literally cannot spawn.
Yeah. I wish I knew that at the time. I didn't know that at the time. I was pretty much new to games back then.
Yeah, same here. Well, it was like 15. I was also told, like, the game actually says that if you spend too long in the dark, you go crazy and die. When I tried playing through it on my own, I was just like, well, what happens? So I literally just never used the lantern. And it turns out it doesn't actually kill you. You just have to deal with cockroaches on it. Which you can quickly learn to ignore.
That's not bad. I'll tell you where I felt the book was actually... I don't want to use the word, but scarier than the game, if you will allow that term.
I'm sorry.
Was the Metro books.
I own some of those games. Haven't actually played them.
Yeah, I felt it's like you said. As soon as you learn the mechanics of the game, it kind of not trivializes the monsters, but you know you can fight them off. With the book, I felt you could get more of an atmosphere with a book because in your mind, I know it sounds daft, but if you can't see it, your imagination runs wild.
If it's written well.
Yeah. And I think in some way that's where video games initially, when they start up, they do feel your tension, but then you sort of know what it looks like. You can sort of guess what it does. You're familiar with it. And that's why I love Lovecraft. Why I think he's probably the best horror writer out there is because no matter you know about Cthulhu, you know his name and all that, but you don't know enough to really fully understand him. Or
Cosmic Horror is good. I have one. I've been told there is one book that is probably better than Lovecraft, and that is House of Leaves, which is on my to-read list. And apparently, I've been told I should make like a read-along series out of it.
Oh, I don't know that one. I must admit.
Okay, so I want to go back and answer my question because I thought you would give this answer earlier of name a storytelling scene from a game that can only be done in a game. Or did you not play Halo Reach?
Oh no, I did play Halo Reach. I loved Halo Reach.
Survive.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf mission. Yeah. Oh, I love that one.
The ending of Reach is something that could only be done in interactive medium.
That is true. I don't know why that didn't pop in my head. And I've played that game. I've played it through so many times with my friends and on my own. I don't know why it didn't pop in my head.
Because it's old. Did you play Nier Automata?
I haven't. No.
Highly
keep getting
recommend. I
recommended it.
actually rate Nier Automata as probably my favorite game of all. But it does something similar to get the perfect ending. I don't want to spoil it because, like, I try not to spoil things that I recommend.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I've been recommended that game. I've seen people like show me pictures of like concept art and stuff like that. Again, I can see why it's popular, very much like Bayonetta. It's
Okay, I really should have heard what the objective was. What's going on? Oh, am I supposed to be like? No, I don't actually know what the objective is right now. I don't know why I lost.
yeah, nor me. I must admit. I do like this setting though. It's pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of
Interesting puzzle I'm in.
Yeah.
Do you think it's? It might just be I have to kill them fast enough to keep it in the air.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you gotta do. Kill as many as you can in a certain time frame to keep it going. I don't know how I feel about objectives like that. In this, I suppose it can work with a game in this style. It can work. It's when it's in games that I don't know. It's not really designed for taking on hordes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, like, if you tried to do this in, like, Dark Souls or Elden Ring, I think you would just cause meltdowns.
Yeah. Especially if it's Elden Ring late game when it first come out. Oh.
I still haven't played Elden Ring. I'm waiting for it to be on sale.
I wish they would stop making weird changes when they update the game. But
What do you mean?
FromSoft's always been like that. Well, they will fix things that weren't broken, and they would leave things that are broken at times. So when I can't remember which game it was, but Bleed was an overpowered build, really, really overpowered. But they fixed poise instead, which the problem with poise was that they made it worse. And so they made poise worse, and it was already pretty bad in terms of how it was implemented. I can't remember which one it was. Probably going to get moaned at by a lot of fanboys because I said that.
Yeah, I just remember learning about poise the first time I was playing Dark Souls, and I was just like, you have to do what now to these guys?
Yeah, I know.
I think they did it well in Dark Souls, but it's very clearly easily scuffed. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the zone? Oh no, something is bouncing me up. Don't.
Yeah, there's another enemy type there, I think, or is he helping you?
Red Clothes? I think she's on my side.
Yeah, yeah, she is. I think it's just meant to kill as many as you can. Yeah, you got the witch time by the look of it going on. I don't know, man. I think that's what you're meant to do. I think you're just meant to kill until you're done. I do like the way they have machine gun boots though, and they're still able to.
Dude,
they have like
when you're designing attractive characters in an action thing, you have options available to you for justifying high heels in combat.
Yeah.
My personal solution was because I was writing a story about basically it was practically Metal Gear Rising fan fiction. So they're all like high-speed cyborgs having sword fights. The reason the main character wears high heels is because that's where the magnets are, so she can actually keep grip strength to the ground.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't understand, man. I actually don't know what the objective is right now.
What
happens if I say no?
That happens.
Oh. Oh, please God, no. Please God, no. Oh, that was a terrible mistake. Oh my God, I am so sorry, viewers.
Have they not got subtitles?
The problem is, this is the stupid kind of old game where you can't access the options menu mid-game.
Ah.
Which is why I haven't been able to increase the volume yet.
Yeah, that's almost as silly as having no pause. That's my main problem with Dark Souls and those games, by the way, and their clones. It's like, oh no, you can't pause it mid-battle. You got a camera. It's like, yeah, but I really need to go to the toilet. I need to take a wat. So it's like, oh, you know, that boss fight was tense, wasn't it? It's like, oh, that's why your legs are shaking. It's like, no, it's because I'm about to bloody piss myself. That's why I'm flicking my legs.
Yeah, the solution they figured out was to have two types of pause. One where you can actually do things like inventory management, and then another where it just actually stops the game.
Yeah. I like to be able to stop the game. So if I want to, like I said, as you would call it, take a leak, or if I want to make a cup of tea or whatever, and then it's not a job. I do want to have a break from time to time.
Oh, hello.
Ooh.
Subtitles on! Oh my God.
Make sure it's in
subtitle
English.
language to be Japanese. What? Why can't I change that? Oh, hey,
well,
I have a UI? What? Who set these default settings?
I mean... I think that's the weird thing about it. Like, someone actually set those as default and think, they won't need any of them. They won't need to know how to play the game.
Oh my God. Why was the UI disabled? This actually makes sense now. Let's see if I can play one-handed. Need to respond to a text message. Maybe.
I mean, why are those the defaults? I mean, that's just odd. And then I realised it's a game made in Japan. They don't do normal. They do good games, just not very normal ones.
Do you think at this rate I'll ever choose a game that just does not punish me? Because I've been having a heck of a time with Simon's Quest. Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion confused the heck out of me at times. And now this port is just, well.
To be honest, I think it's just going to get worse for your mental health from here on out. When you go forward. Especially if you ever do stream Elden Ring. Mind you, Elden Ring's nowhere near as bad as when it first came out. There were some boss battles that were almost
My brother still
unbeatable.
tells me about Let Me Solo Her. He is enamored with that madman.
It is, he's a good YouTuber. Another good one is Fighting Cowboy. He's a good Souls speedrunner too, does some good guides. Because Dark Souls 2 was the first one I played, and I was lost. But completely lost. I got killed by 3 pigs in the starting village. It wasn't until I sort of like I realised, mate. So these messages on these glowing things on the floor, I thought they were traps or something, so I went and avoided them.
Sorry, was this Dark Souls 1, 2, 3?
2.
Dude, I hated 2. I gotta be honest. They made some decisions. Oh, actually, well, hold on. I have subtitles now. I do not have subtitles.
In Japanese.
Hey, Chad, does anyone speak Japanese?
Please. Well, you got you. But then, how do you change subtitles then? Like the language?
It was locked.
So.
Oh, one sec.
I mean, what? Why? Why would you make it so you can't change the language of your subtitles mid-game?
Just personally increasing the sound a bit of
Haven't
the
you
game.
figured it out yet? There's no quarter for you in this world.
Okay, I can hear it now.
She has a lovely accent. I still have no idea what's going on.
I'm saving the fat guy with the polar hat. That's all I know.
Ah, right. Yeah, with Dark Souls 2, to me, it's aged the worst. I had fun playing it after a while, but do I think it gets more hate than it deserves? Yes. Do I think it's a great game? No. It's okay. I think compared to... Well, number 3 is my favourite. But compared to the other 2... I suppose you could throw in Demon Souls, Bloodborne and Elden Ring in there too. It's the worst one. Easily. Although,
Dude, I rage quit Bloodborne. Is that bad? I got all the way to... There was like a long haul of 7 psychic mushrooms spamming attacks at me. And I actually just...
Engine still purrs nicely.
Oh.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
thing you've been looking
I had already been punished by the archers of Anor Londo. And I was not having that shit a second time.
The moment that made me nearly rage quit was probably the Rom the vacuous spider. That I hate that boss fight with a passion. I really do. It took me 22 attempts to beat her.
Okay, one second. Both of us have to pay attention and figure out what the objective was.
Yeah.
Enzo, the road. Pay attention.
How can you be so calm? You're still getting screwed in all this too. Of all the low-life scum in too deep in this town, I've never seen one get wrapped up in a fight with God's messengers. Dressed like a nun too. When you end up in the afterlife, that's not going to be pretty.
I can't help it if I like the little outfits. The toys are nice.
Hey, 20 years ago, you woke up stuck in a casket at the bottom of a lake. All you can remember is that you're a witch. But now, you're stuck because you gotta sacrifice our halo-wearing friends every day or they'll drag your ass back down to hell. I know, I thought I got screwed, but being forced to slap around the divine for a living, that's really getting screwed.
Okay, so she's a witch buying time on Earth outside of hell?
I see to the funeral. You get me the information I asked for. That was our deal.
Come on now! Look at my poor car! I'm working for free after this! At least let me get a drink at Rodon's before you start grilling me. The info
Nice girl.
I got is good. It's gonna get you close to finding the other stone in the pair and figuring out some of that lost past of yours.
These cutscenes are so long. The problem is like that it doesn't. The critical information is at the end of the cutscene here.
After
Yeah.
instead of cash, just like a girl. Jesus, can't you take a joke?
Enzo, someone's given you a present. Too bad. I can't stand bugs.
Yeah,
Okay,
Still don't know
okay, the
what's going
plane's
on.
coming.
no.
No, what was I doing wrong? I swear to God, if it was actually just kill them faster, gonna have a bad time.
Fuck.
So are they trying to imitate comic books right now?
You without a Malaysian airline.
I'm talking about the stop motion.
All right. It looks like it. Very much a comic book sort of.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Kat, if you're there, help as well. What am I trying to do? Apparently staring at gunfight. A lot of this is reminding me of Equilibrium gun kata. Is that just me?
Yeah. I think it has a lot of that. I think they are trying to go for
Okay,
like
hold up.
All that sleeping made you soft.
What the? Oh, I have a UI now.
Attack enemies to fill your magic gauge. Well, now you know.
What is a torture attack? Did I ever get that explained?
No. I can't recall you ever.
Maybe what was crashing was I can actually see a health bar now. No, I have a timer at the top. You want to do me a hot favor and Google what a torture attack is? Because I never saw it.
Yeah, will do.
Oh, wait a minute. What is this magic? Oh, there it is. Oh my god, this makes so much more sense now.
Hey, don't get me wrong, it is nice to see games that don't have a screen filled with 500 million prompts. But at the same time, it would be nice to know some information.
Yeah.
It does remind me of the minions from Fable 1.
Trying to, like,
Like,
manually learn,
well, I think you've done it.
Ooh. Okay. Trying to manually learn the combos.
Hmm.
And I think I'm exposing that I'm a button masher. Until I learn what certain things allow me to move correctly. Okay, we did it, Reddit. Did it, chat. By actually enabling the UI, I can actually play. So I've been meaning to ask you, your book, your short stories. What do you got available right now? Let's go back to that because that is supposed to be like part of this point of the stream.
Oh, yeah. At the minute, I've got two. I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo them because I'm not happy with the final product of the ones I released. They can be better. So think of it as a remaster. I've got
Dude, editing is always like that.
yeah, I got a Telegram channel, so I'm actually going to put them up on there. Either a chapter at a time as like a free book, if that makes sense. Free story.
I mean, that's what I do with my web novel.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. My main novel is just working out the actual main novel itself is almost fully done. It's just like the other little bits. But in terms of the short stories, I've got one I'm doing the edits for.
Yeah, what's it about?
And I got.
Why is it cool? Why should a reader care about it?
Harder and harder to tell the worlds apart.
Well, it's harkening back to like the old pulp writers of like Robert E. Howard. Robert E. Howard's my favorite author.
Classic answer.
Who can tell the difference?
I wanted to. The reason it's important
Even harder with
is because it's a simple sort of black and white story of revenge.
Black and white
because
revenge
it's-
story. Got it. Okay.
Even if some of them like
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's there is no.
all got a stake in the status quo.
The main sort of core behind it is the fact that the main character is a soldier,
Heaven and hell.
and
Gonna go straight for
the reason, and he sort of has to balance when he's going about his duty, but also sort of trying to combat the soldier and the person, if that makes sense. So I won't spoil detail, but basically he leaves the army, he goes to
two bracing.
somewhere else because he leaves his place of origin to
This reek
basically start life anew. He does that,
one of those.
it then gets taken away from him, and he's hunting down the people who murdered, well, basically he starts a family,
I got a little present.
and
Getting some John Wick vibes.
These
yeah, people murder his wife and daughter, and he basically tracks them down across several kingdoms
himself would kill.
to enact his revenge before eventually going back to where he come from and re-enlist
Is this your
in
novel
the
or
army.
your short story?
Those are the short stories
Okay.
are set
'Cause
before
you
the
were
novel.
naming so many events. I was like, there is no way to fit that into a short story. What's going on?
No, those are the short stories are basically the prequels to the main novel. The main novel is what happens afterwards. If that makes sense. So the short stories act as sort of like an introduction to the character. If
Right
that, and these ones.
Yeah. I don't know if you're watching this. I might have to delist this stream. I feel like this might, like, this is a AAA studio game, and I'm wondering if I'm going to get a freaking community guideline
Oh my
strike.
word! Yeah, yeah. I was looking because the one on my monitor is a few seconds behind the one I'm chatting to on here, and I can see what you mean. As soon as you said community guidelines, like
Better to be.
she had a
You're up against.
yeah, she's doing that thing on the bar of her legs.
Dude, it's not like I pulled up some indie, like, visual novel out of Japan with, like, bunny suits or something.
Going on your tab.
This was the game of the year when it came out, and I'm worried about by current moderation standards.
I mean, who was this game marketed to again?
Teenagers, I guess.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean,
Hey, nothing wrong with marketing a teenager.
no. It's just the current way things are, you can guarantee that it's probably going to get some. I can understand. Well, I can understand the pushback it got when it come out, but you can see why they targeted it, if that makes sense. We won't go into details why. I think this, but basically, well, actually, no, a load of ugly women got really upset that no one finds them attractive. There we are. But
Oh no, my
Yeah.
God! I didn't accidentally backed out. That sucks.
so that's the prologue then. so no.
Apparently. It took
Now
me an hour because of not having the UI and having to reboot. I'm a
Well,
good
now you know what
gamer,
you're doing.
okay?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now you know what you're doing. You should breeze through it.
Hey, Chad, I hope you've all hit the like button and subscribed, and
Yeah.
you really appreciate this quality entertainment right now. Still don't
And whatever
understand
we're
why I
producing.
can't set it to English subtitles. I'm quite adept at having a conversation and reading subtitles. I watch anime, but I can't read Japanese subtitles.
I'm just wondering if you can only change them in the main menu.
Maybe. I guess I'll tinker after stream. I would like to actually discuss the plot slightly, because that's something I enjoy doing with other storytellers. I genuinely have no idea what's going on.
You're gonna enjoy doing this one, I bet.
As far as I'm aware,
Taking it to the rich.
she's a witch
Don't forget.
living on borrowed time from hell, and
Slide me a few
we were on a
Trains and
plane fighting.
automobiles.
Yeah, gun boots.
Anyway, you better get going
and
before the trail gets cold.
what looks to be,
Nowhere.
I don't know,
Paradise of you.
some random
Apparently
bloke
I'm
with a
going
bowler
to
hat.
France.
And oh my word. So I can't tell you the plot. Admittedly, if we
All good.
if we
Alright, let's
actually
go
had
back to
English
Cyberpunk
subtitles,
for a moment. Why? I freaking hate that like every Cyberpunk franchise is completely based around the idea that everyone's going to rip out all their fleshy bits for the machine, like the Adeptus Mechanicus or something. Oh, you know, the market forces will force people to adapt or die. They won't be able to keep up if they don't replace their muscles with artificial fibers.
yeah,
Does anybody actually believe that?
I mean, you could argue in a way that Elon Musk is trying to
Well,
sort of get the
Elon
ball
Musk
rolling on that.
I think makes a strong argument. Neural implants for the future, like it or not. So, the way he explains it actually makes sense because he talks about the fact that we already are cyborgs. We already do offload a lot of our thinking to computers because we don't remember much of anything. Because we now remember how to get the information. That's the nature of, oh, let me just Google that. And he points out that the data transfer rate, in a lot of ways, is 2 thumbs, because we're using phones to do it. And by putting electrodes directly into the brain, you can go up to a higher level data transfer rate. And that is how technology pushes. That is... Oops, what is this? Oh, I'm not in combat.
So why is that in English yet the subtitles aren't?
Because this is part of the UI, I guess.
Yeah. It just seems odd why it had the UIs default in English but not subtitles.
Uh-oh, why doesn't it tell me where to go?
True. Okay.
Suddenly open world.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's happening.
Oh, okay, looks like that's some kind of like power shrine or something. Ah, right. Okay, it's a puzzle. There we go.
Not much of a puzzle.
Nah, I was expecting something a bit more elaborate, I must admit. Also, this has to be one of the most unusual train stations I've ever seen.
We're in Purgatorio, whatever that means.
Purgatory, then.
Apparently it's in France.
Would this be in France? Come on, Gio, I suppose you have got the catacombs, haven't you?
Well, that's a key.
Yeah. You ain't gonna lose that one beyond the sofa anytime soon. The couch, I suppose, if you're American. Ah, right. So you've unlocked the key to victory there, James.
I don't like the slow weapon, but okay.
Nah. A bit like the Ultra Dark Swords of Dark Souls, isn't it? Great. But man, that build up.
I guess I did it right. I don't know how I did that. Hey, it's in English. I've been a journalist now for over 20 years, always aiming for the guiding light of truth and always pushing forward. Wow, this game's... I've believed that communicating the truth is the core tenet of all journalism, chasing it until my legs turn to rubber and the truth is burned into my retinas.
What went wrong? They've been and journalists have always been the same for as long as they've existed. Got it to something fourth. Okay.
So is it gonna tell me how to do that?
One would like to think so.
Or am I just gonna accidentally do it?
Is her... Are her trousers her hair?
Apparently?
Okay.
Does that kind of restore the... Okay. Anyway, so when I write Cyberpunk, I don't, like, the only people that have implants, they're all, like, fully developed for good reason, but, like, you have to actually have lost a limb. Like, I genuinely think that, once you take into consideration the need for the limb to repair itself... I probably should have read that. Okay, was me. You wish to walk upon the water, prove your mettle by dodging lightning in a single hair's breadth. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's one thing I don't really like about.
Oh, I have to do a perfect dodge.
I think Cyberpunk 2077's very guilty of that. What you just said, particularly when like everyone there has an implant. Yeah, there'd be ones that just don't make sense. If you know what I mean. So...
Yeah, absolutely. Like Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Why? It just made no sense and completely ruined the character growth that he just kept replacing his body with metal.
Hmm.
Did you watch Edge Runners?
No, I didn't. I must admit, I didn't.
Okay, so I call it 9 out of 10 because I had 9 episodes that were 10 out of 10, and then the 10th episode was 0 out of 10.
Oh, right. Well, that seems to be a thing with media these days. Great until the end.
So, near the end, his girlfriend is begging with him, you gotta stop chroming up. You gotta stop. And he just keeps plugging everything in. Like, he gets like a bazooka gun for a wing, man. For no good reason. And then it's supposed to be this dramatic error where he thinks she's telling him to put on the suit, get in the robot, Shinji, basically. Even though that's clearly antithetical to everything she's been saying. And he doesn't realize that he's being lied to. And that's why everything goes to hell, is because he just doesn't actually understand, friend.
But the Bagridians, it got a special air.
It was so dumb.
They're closer to Paradiso than
Yeah.
it could ever be.
I don't like that.
Just plain
It's one of those things now where if the ending was good, I probably would watch it. But now you've told me that I probably won't.
these stupid rings of wood.
I admit I'm not really much of an anime fan. I've tried watching a few. I might have just watched the wrong ones.
Come across in
But I just
bring them to me.
Yeah, so
Never.
Cyberpunk is an old genre that comes out of like the 80s, 70s. 90s when globalism was kicking in, people had just discovered the internet. That's what made Neuromancer take off, is because at the time people really didn't know what computers and the internet would do, and it comes across as very weird and quaint nowadays. Oh, you gotta find a disc cowboy or whatever he calls them. My God, it's been a long time. Because apparently browsing the internet he thought would be a specialized skill.
How do the Americans put it?
Yeah, I got you.
I really think Cyberpunk needs to be updated with it totally missed the mark on social media, I think.
Oh yeah, I had to admit, one of the things I always found sort of odd about Cyberpunk, like when you go back in the days, is how no one thought that something like social media, the effects it would have on like humanity as a whole. It has made me laugh about, we have like implants so available, so people do have augmented eyes, arms, legs, you name it. Yet none of that has affected humanity en masse like social media has.
Right.
And when you read 1984, you can make an argument that even something like social media wasn't even sort of theorized in that as well.
I'm not sure I should be going to the gates of hell. Might be a problem. Yeah, so I've actually been trying to read non-fiction books about the internet. Oh, this is the gates of hell. This is how I buy things. That must have been what he was explaining.
Business or pleasure.
Aha.
Either
Well,
way,
like,
I'll hook you up.
can you think of a real, like, internet culture book that was worth anything?
Off the top of my head, no. I must admit. Not one I can recommend, if that makes sense. I don't really know many. Someone in the chat might be able to more than me.
Yeah, if anyone in the chat can think of a book that has been updated by the internet and actually grapples with the internet, let me know.
It would be
book, Aethel
nice.
Wolf?
It would be nice to see, must admit.
You know, this is the problem with having like a 30-second delay. We have to wait for Aethel Wolf to even hear, and then possibly.
Yeah.
So, like, I say that I'm trying to update the cyberpunk genre, but even I'm struggling to really wrap my head around, like, what is the future of the internet? How are people going to interact? What is it going to mean when, say, you show up to a karaoke bar with 15,000 songs available, so many that you can't even choose which are the good ones, and you need an artificial intelligence that knows your preferences in order to have a hope of finding a song that you actually like in that pile? What does that mean? It's something I can create in a story, but can I analyze it?
I think we're going to end up something similar. They have these things called silent discos where everyone has a set of headphones. I've never been to one, but I've known some people have. And they all listen to a song on these headsets and they all get bars and that. I think you're going to have something very similar where like you walk into somewhere, and like you said, you got all these chips and all that. I think you're going to walk in, the AI, like walk through a big scanner or something, and it will sort of determine from like your personality, what your thoughts and stuff like that, what you got stored on there, and it will play inside your head.
So I really think that the The Japanese style karaoke bar is going to stick around. I think it has... What am I even doing right now? So the Japanese karaoke bar where you get a private room with your friends and you go from there and you're just with each other drinking, I think that is going to catch on more as time passes and it's going to stick around, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually getting distracted trying to get high combo here. Did I say hi to Tony? And if the Wolf, you missed the short discussion about the pulpy revenge story that is the upcoming book. Sounds good. It sounds John Wicky, and you know, there's nothing wrong with a revenge story. It is a fundamentally appealing story.
Yeah, I admit for my short stories, I just wanted like a basic plot to follow through them all. That one that connects them all. And I thought, well, I'll just have like a. So every story obviously has a different plot in that story, but it's still, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I really recommend that people getting started start with familiar and understandable things. Don't try and get fancy. Like every famous author, like, have you ever seen, as an example, Picasso's work as a teenager? It's like perfect Renaissance photorealism. I didn't think it would catch me like that. Okay. You want, if people don't know you, if you don't have many people vouching for you, they're not going to trust you. They might pull up your look ahead, read one page, and go, I don't see where this is going. And then where are you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like I've approached writing to how I'm approaching boxing, where the most basic punch you got is a jab, but it's the most important one. The most important chapter, or you could argue chapters, I find in a book, are your first two.
Sort of. There's an argument for that, but there's also an argument for the most important chapter is the final chapter. Because that influences whether or not they will tell the next person about it, right?
Yeah, I get what you mean. You could say it's that both is equally as important. Probably for different reasons. I mean,
yes.
The first chapter I spent so long on, because I'm like, well, I got to keep the readers. I mean, you got to keep the readers interested throughout your whole story, but at least when you want to get them past that part one,
yes.
You know what I mean?
You always need to have the reader anticipating something, because that's what keeps them reading. And sometimes you screw that up. I've certainly screwed that up.
Yeah. All right, Eighth Wolf. Yeah, we have spoken about the book in a little detail. Eighth Wolf is a friend of mine. He's actually done some commissions for me. He's a very talented artist. So if you do want to have some commissions done by him, like I said, he's very good.
Dude, finding good artists that don't scam you is way more painful than...
yeah. I've read a lot of artists online who have been promoting their work, and it looks great, don't get me wrong. But then you read like people who've dealt with them, and they're not who you think they are, but they'll put in half effort, or they won't put in any effort at all, and they'll still expect full payment. You know what I mean?
I had a what do you mean, Tony? What weird glitches?
What are you doing? Let's go.
Like in the stream, in the game? Is it encoding weird?
Oh. Yeah, that's actually going back to Scam. There's one thing that puts me off editors is they ask for a lot of money.
They ask for
and you
so
have no
much
idea.
money. I actually get so annoyed. That's not good. What I do?
He's a big boy.
I think I'm doing this boss fight wrong.
What is some kind of?
I can't
giant...
actually jump off of this. Oh.
I think you meant to just fire at the big red nose. Oh, it's like.
Hans, I am compelled to. I am a creative at heart, even if it basically doesn't pay.
What prompted me to start writing was I just couldn't find anything that engaged me enough to warrant me to get interested in it. So I decided to sort of create my own world, my own stories. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. And then from there, I ended up getting into other authors and that I enjoyed. So it's just sort of that's that. And the other reason is that I got annoyed with this obsession with the Norse pantheon of gods.
Hey,
where...
hey, I'm using the Norse pantheon in my next book.
I know, I don't get me wrong, I've used a couple, but there is also Celtic gods out there too, and like Irish mythology and stuff like that, so... Hey? Yeah, but I think that's what it is, though. The Celtic pantheon are fantastic, like... And Britain also has some of it, like its own gods, like Welsh gods and stuff like that, which aren't really known as much. So I wanted to sort of make a story evolving around them. I have them included so they are more widely recognised.
So there is a real issue with, I want to learn about X mythology. Okay, well let me go get the source books, and readily getting translations in modern English that are accurate is way harder than it should be for like everything except Greek and Norse. Like
yeah,
I tried getting books on Shintoism. There's kind of nothing.
Yeah, I have to admit Shintoism is something I'm not familiar with. I will readily admit that. But the thing is that if I wanted to learn about it, I'd probably want to actually... It's Japanese, isn't it?
Yes.
Shinto. Yeah, I'd actually want to go to Japan. Yeah, I mean, I would actually want to go to Japan and learn about it, but then if you can afford that, more power to you, but... said... Japanese to English translations, I mean, obviously, they're never seamless, are they? Because obviously, but how they're constructed is different. A bit like translating something from, say, Russian or something like that into English, because certain words in the English language don't exist in an Eastern European one. I imagine it's the same with Japanese, stuff like that. So I do get what you mean though. Is trying to find. I want to learn about it, like say the Welsh mythology, Irish mythology, and all that. But who can you trust as a source? You know, are they correct about it?
Realized that was an attack animation.
We've got the Namabignon, which is which has all the details about it and all that. It's an actual proper book, but then it's not exactly like you just find and read the original one.
Sorry, which book are you talking about?
Oh, the Mabignon. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, so I'm trying to speak Welsh. No, I'm just saying about Welsh mythology, like trying to learn about it. I'm trying to speak Welsh. It's a like you said about sources and stuff like that. The Mabinogion. I'm trying to speak Welsh. It's remarkably difficult, believe me. But their stories were compiled in the, I think, 12th century. So that's like when they were first written. But then you think to yourself, are they actually accurate to the stories that were told? Like
Or
you said,
were they updated?
Yeah, that's the thing. I believe they have been. And again, that's the problem we have with like King Arthur and all that. Is Geoffrey and Monmouth wrote them, but we don't actually know.
I don't think I'm
What
supposed
was
to be
real and what
fighting
was-
on this staircase. What do you think?
No. I don't think you are, mate. Oh, right, I see. So. Okay, imagine that golden thing on his head has something there. Oh, okay. See, that's the thing. Once you sort of figure out and all that, it's quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm actually just having interpretation problems.
Yeah.
That's a cool demon.
Yeah.
I am not a good button masher, apparently.
It's a hair demon with teeth.
Alright, so here's a question for you. Do you write every day?
No.
Do you wish you could?
I do, but sometimes I'm just too cream crackered to actually sit down at a computer and do it. If I don't feel like writing, but if I know I'm too tired and not going to be at my best, then I don't write. I probably should get out of that. It's just sometimes if I've had like a really hard day at work, and then I get home and I've gone to the gym and stuff like that, I try to dedicate at least an hour a day to writing. But sometimes, like I said, I'm in bed, I'm ready. I'll go upstairs to my computer, and I'll fall asleep in the chair. Just, I've opened up the Word document, and I'm just unconscious because I'm that tired. So, like I said, I tend to dedicate certain days of the week to when I'm writing. So if I have a schedule, I know I'm going to be up and ready for it. So, like I said, it's getting in the habit of making it part of the schedule, if that makes sense. So I know I'm going to sit here, because when I first wrote my book, I knew exactly what I was doing. Get in from work, spend an hour as soon as I get in at a computer, write a bit, have dinner, do my little hobbies, and then have an hour at the end of the day to sit down and then go to bed. Since then, obviously a few things have changed. Like my life sort of changed a little bit, so I'm having to reschedule it to make it a more consistent writing part. But when I was writing my first book, I did write every day. Now I don't. I write about 5 days a week.
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. And sometimes that's a lot, sometimes it's not. You know, I've written an entire chapter in one day before, and I've written a page in the day before. So I learned that a little is better than none.
I strongly suggest a little every day. There is a quote from somebody far more famous than it might be a Stephen King quote or something, where it's like, I can only write when I'm inspired. That's why I sit down until my muse show up every morning at 9 a.m.
Fair enough.
The habit But I wish I could have a consistent time of day to sit down and write. Day job doesn't allow that, but I do cram in at least 1,000 words of writing every day.
That's pretty good.
Oh,
I
that's how I
tried
got
to,
to now 5 books available, plus the web novel.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to get about 1,000 if I can.
Fancy bumping into you here.
The most I've done in a day is
Out to
6.
find some answers about your past.
I was just on it because I hadn't
Dude,
written for.
I have hit 4,000 once in my life.
Using the same
I was
power.
drained after that, and it wasn't the best writing either.
Do we know
That's kind of a trade-off. If you start pushing for big word counts, are you getting good writing?
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah, that's the problem I had. I've had to cut out
Week has left you a bit rusty.
a lot. I've had to cut out almost an entire novel's worth of stuff from my first one that I'm going to use later on in other in the sequels
Fair
that I
enough.
do plan on doing. But like I said, it just I had to work out what was my word count. It was 250,000 words originally.
Dude,
It's like,
I don't understand how
Yeah.
people write that big. Like, I'm not sure I've ever broken 100,000 on a novel. I write between 70 and 90.
yeah, no, I would recommend you keep doing that. Stick to that. At the minute, it's 135,000. I probably will reduce that as well.
Is a moment I've long desired.
And I know I can reduce that. It's just trying to figure out where. So
And wasted the past 20 years.
I think that's probably still a bit too big.
Well, that's one advantage
be
of being an indie writer, is if the book is 130,000 and it's not, it would be worse if you shrunk it.
Kind
I wish I had 130,000.
Too
Yeah.
Eyes of the world.
I mean, like I said, I've taken out lots of stuff. I mean, it was the first thing I ever put to pen to paper. The thing is that I didn't know how much I didn't know about writing.
Oh my god, so many people think.
Yeah.
Holy crap, it's hard.
Because I was quite a consistent reader when I was younger, and I never really sort of read regularly. When I first started it, I thought, well, I'm gonna read through some books whilst I'm writing. And wow, I had no idea, like, structure, grammar, stuff like that, character building and stuff like that. I had no idea about any of that. And I look back now from what I first wrote to obviously now being wiser. What a crock. What a load of old rubbish that really was. What I
It
originally
doesn't
put
stop.
down.
I hate to break it to you, but like even I'm here going, man, my first book is kind of has some problems. You mind entertaining the chat for a minute?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be right back, chat. I have a co-host for you.
Send us your questions, chat. I shall be here for the time being. Let's try and keep you all entertained. All 3 of you. I think it's 3 of you. Anyway, what's your favourite author then, chat? Or who's your favourite author, shall I say? I already said mine earlier stream, but if you weren't here, mine is Robert E. Howard. Followed closely by Tolkien, which should be pretty obvious if I'm a fantasy writer. Thanks for the laugh there, Wolf. Always good to know. Alright, a joke. There we go. The police are walking through the park and they see 2 crackheads sat on the bench. And one of them's drinking battery acid and the other one's eating a firework. And after careful deliberation, they decided to charge one and let one go.
I completely agree, Hans. It just hurts me when I say, oh yeah, book 2 here? A lot better than book 1. Like, a lot better. Oh. You don't have to read the first book. Know what I mean?
Yeah, it's why I want to rewrite my short stories. So they're actually a better product. The 2 that are out there, and like I said, I will re-release them. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I suppose if you're a YouTuber and say you've got millions upon millions of subscribers and you go back and watch your first ever video, imagine you'd be pretty embarrassed too. So.
Oh, apparently they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I shared the thing. It's like with Razorfist, he goes back and watches his first ones with the grainy camera and stuff like that. Got to be better than his writing at least. No offense, Razor.
Dude, apparently his book 2 is a lot better.
Oh, The Long Moonlight?
No, Death Mask.
Oh yeah, Death Mask in it, number 2. I haven't got it yet, so can't say. I've been meaning to. Yeah, I mean, I hope it is. I mean, when I first read Long Moonlight, I enjoyed it, kinda. But when I look back on it now, being a more competent writer myself, looking at it through a writer's pair of writer's eyes, yeah, I don't enjoy it as much. I mean, I'm terrible for being OCD when I read something, and if there are grammatical errors, I have to correct them.
He only had like one grammatical error. I called a lot of his things prose errors.
Yeah.
Just like difference.
Well, there's a couple of things in there, and I'm thinking to myself, he had a nice build-up of tension, and it was pretty good.
So he confessed to something in an interview, which I think needs to be known about this book. He will outright say he did not write that story for consumption. He wrote it for fun. It's fine, except for the fact that he charged $15 for a 100-page book. What happened, apparently, was his publisher contacted him, waved money at him, and he was just like, yeah, sure. He just slapped his name on the cover and they ran with it.
Well, fair enough.
Sort of, but doesn't, like...
I mean...
There's kind of a problem there. Kind of a problem.
This is gonna be my issue with the Iron Age, and it goes back into what you said, it's gonna be quality control. If it's gonna throw money at you, and you're gonna put the product out, but it's not the best it could be, if we're trying to build this as a legitimate movement, you can't have that. In my view, anyway. Like, you know, you can't put out a product that isn't up to standards. Yeah, and they want to make a decent movement out of it, because yeah, you can get a lot of, like, people will buy your book, but eventually, you know, that you can't make that last. It will get around, especially like you said, the price tag for what you got.
Well, the thing is, if he had marketed it, and if people had treated it as just, you know, this was Razorfist having fun, and it's an okay book, takes a lot of inspiration from Thief. That's a big difference from, like, oh my god, he's the scion of the Iron Age, he's leading an independent movement.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit like if you were going to put CM Punk and then you say, oh, he's the greatest fighter of all time, you know, he's gonna completely dominate it. He's gonna bring in a new wave of UFC fighters, and then obviously he gets the first round chokeout by Mickey Gall. Kind of how they market it. And don't get me wrong, I love Razor Fist. He's fucking great. Sorry, he's great.
We've been streaming for an hour and a half. You can drop the F-bomb.
Oh, thank fuck for that. So, all right. Oh, it won't be that bad, I assure you. Ah, I have to admit, I'm enjoying this game. I am enjoying this game. Like I said, the biggest reason this game was infamous is because a load of fat women with fannies like abandoned water troughs got really upset that no one found them attractive.
Temporal witch power.
And as you're American, you're about a thumbnail's width out, okay, James?
What do you... I don't actually understand what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Even a shot shows there isn't a way through. Ah. Temporal witch power. So imagine you got to have some kind of magic spell. We got to find it, maybe?
I think this is just forcing me to understand what the combos available to me are right now.
Ah.
Why can't I kill that bird?
I keep looking at the wrong bloody screen.
Okay.
Ah.
Had to turn around.
Ah. You have a lot of time, do it?
Okay, that made sense, actually. I just didn't know that was behind me. But yeah, so, like, a lot of people, do you have a copy of Isom 1?
No, I don't even know if it's available in the UK. Is it for Amazon, if so?
I have no idea. Sorry. You could probably get Isom 2 through his crowdfunder. He probably ships it to the UK. So, I actually want to give Eric July some credit here, because he doesn't act like he's making God's gift to reality. Other people fanboy about him and act like he is. Did you hear that Angel Studios wants to contact him to work out a movie deal?
I didn't. No. I admit, that's cool.
So they're the sound... Well, not really, in my opinion. Not yet, anyways.
Never tear us apart.
He hasn't put out a movie's worth of content. This is a form of virtue signaling.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
I'd actually be totally fine if they said, yeah, let's see Isom 3, and let's see if we can adapt that. But right now, like, he barely has enough content to fill a freaking TV episode. And
yeah,
they probably don't want to adapt Isom. I'm going to bet money that Chuck Dixon's Alpha Core is going to be the far better content. Like, I'm actually expecting that Alpha Core is going to be the first A tier, possibly the first S tier, that makes it onto my tier list.
That'd be quite good if it did. I must admit. The one I do want is Shadow of the Conqueror. Actually, I do want to read that one.
Why? I mean, it's currently the best novel I've reviewed from the indie sphere. However,
yeah.
Now does it?
I just want something to read.
Wait, what? You need something to read?
Will you stop that?
Well, at the minute, I need. I'm just looking for something. If that makes sense. So, at the minute, I am halfway through Terry Pratchett's Discworld series.
I'm not your
I can't fault you there. Terry Pratchett's a lot better than I am.
Yeah.
A name you better
There's a lot of books to read.
Yeah, so I've read most of Guards and Small Gods, and I do want to read them. And I'm still upset that my subtitles are in Japanese.
just run away from me like that.
This looks like it's actually funny, and I have no idea what's going on.
I know all about your kind.
I just don't understand. It's just the defaults that are getting me.
Yeah?
Not to me.
Well, it wouldn't give me a slider to change it off of Japanese.
I know the truth.
No,
Oh
I
my
don't
god, do I
if they
know
actually-
this voice actor? It sounds like a little Ogias or something. Maybe Suzaku from Ogias, and that's...
That's not what I asked for.
Smell. It's the same smell that clung to the air that
Yeah, it's like after we're done with Terry Pratchett, I'm looking for like a new series to delve into.
You could join me in Book of the New Sun. It's not funny though. It's just like actually complicated epic fantasy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Does Eric do
You need to hone your
Yeah, I think they do ship to the UK, Ripperverse, so probably will get that.
After all, Rosemary's a demon repellent.
Yeah, I'll join you on that.
Tony, am I supposed to be seeing angels? Apparently, Tony Bunny is familiar, whoops, with this series.
Can you tell us what's going on as well with the subtitles?
Maybe. Like, that looked like it was just a style thing, because Le Magic, that, normies can't, ooh, what was that? Normies can't see the monsters, you know? But apparently that might just be, like, an actual artifact of the port.
Yeah, probably. Is the game fun to play at least?
Actually, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wish I was on a higher
That's what-
difficulty, actually, believe it or not. But I couldn't choose above normal, because I haven't beaten the game yet.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, that's the main thing, isn't it? Play games to have fun.
I mean, I have fun even when the games make me suffer. Like, the first Castlevania was quite fun. Even if I, like, wanted to cry when I couldn't actually beat the mummies for 40 minutes. Until I learned that there was, full heal right in the boss room.
Oh, I had similar thoughts to the old Sega games, Revenge of Shinobi being one of them. Oh, that game kicked my ass back then. But then I realised, when we had the Sega, our games were in Japanese. So I was playing is it Mickey Mouse, was it Mansion of Darkness or Castle of Darkness? Everything was in Japanese, I had no idea what I was doing. That was, oh man, it must have been about 4 or 5? Yeah, we had a few games on that. We had the Streets of Rage, remember that?
What am I supposed to do right now? Am I missing an enemy?
What's that thing on the floor though? That I meant
What's a
to
weapon I can pick up?
that thing on the floor. I was wondering if you can.
That thing, right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's got anything to do with that there.
If I go up the steps?
No. Not there.
Am I missing something in the UI?
What's that up there? I mean, I don't know. The game looks pretty though.
Especially for its age.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Looks like another butterfly thing in the background now. I don't really know what they do. I have to admit, I don't know.
Oh, hey, what's this? No, that's a guy.
Is it glitched? It might be a glitch. Tony Capone says a mini boss is a. Well, he thinks it's supposed to show up after this.
I think I killed the mini boss.
He says it might be a glitch, which I mean, it's very possible. It just works.
Odd.
I'm far too honest to be Todd Howard. Far too honest. So are you excited for Starfield?
What is Starfield?
The new game they're coming out with, basically their version of Star Citizen, but this one might actually be finished.
I think I saw a tweet from Razorfist about Star Citizen. You'll have to let me know. Oh god, do I have to I think my only option is chapter menu. Might be a huge reset, and if I have to restart chapter 2, because I didn't know what other options were available to me. All right, I think we're calling the stream here.
Yeah, we really go through that again. Oh dear. It's
I am a professional. I know what I'm doing. I hope you all have enjoyed the chat. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, my dear co-host?
Yep, I had a blast. Would love to do it again once.
Well, I won't be streaming next week, so I'm going to be at Gen Con next week. Being drunk and too free with my money buying board games. Oh.
If we only have such luxuries.
Well, my luxuries are not born of my book sales, as much as I'd like them to be.
Yeah.
The day job pays well.
About your past, are we?
Yeah, mine's consistent.
Alright, well, I guess I'm going to drop off and start pre-recording, because I don't want my YouTube, normal content to miss out just because I'm absent. So I'm going to pre-record some stuff.
Nice. Aren't you reviewing Critical Drinkers work shortly?
Not sure. I don't own it yet.
Oh, right, fair enough.
The book I'm actually reading right now is Vathic by William Beckford, which is about 250 years old.
Nice.
And I don't know if I consider it good or not. It's weird. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do a review of this other than just kind of it's only 100 pages, go read it, for historical purposes kind of review.
I feel the same way about Moby Dick.
I have not read Moby Dick yet.
It's a little hard to read, but I think that's a time period difference more than anything.
Oh my god, I have to redo the boss. Oh my god.
I had the same thing with Charles Dickens, one of my all-time favourites, but my word, does he love a long sentence.
Yeah, there is a weird thing about the styling, because despite being 250 years old, the language is pretty approachable, except for the fact that it uses, specific jargon, and this printing of the book has, 40 pages of glossary definitions just to tell you what all these things are. And I also need to go through that before I make the video. I read some old stuff where it's ugh, I really don't enjoy the actual language here, but oftentimes old stuff is just released differently. And some people can't get through that, but there's a lot of people who can only read. I think I just saw the mini boss that's supposed to spawn. Anyways, there are some people that only enjoy like young adult light novel crap, basically. And I think those are the people that complain about old. There are people who think Lord of the Rings is hard to read.
I've had the little feedback I've had. I get that too because my writing style is very much like Tolkien, where I'm quite descriptive, and they seem to find this too descriptive. But I think it's actually less
just to
descriptive
jump
than
back to
Tolkien.
Razorfist for a moment. I was told that he writes purple prose. I didn't find that at all. Ooh.
No.
No, I would not call that purple prose. I think he was having a little fun by himself with a thesaurus at times. And he really shouldn't have, but he clearly didn't have a editor push back on him. Whatever. That's a bad note to end on. I'm James Craig. My new book is out for pre-order. Co-host, Chill. Moonwalker. Get your closing statement in. Moonraker, sorry.
Have fun every day because nothing's ever gotten better by being miserable.
I like that. Yeah, I hope you had fun. I hope you subscribed and liked and told your friends and engaged and boosted the algorithm and all that, but I am stopping the stream. Peace out. Have a good weekend.
Hey everyone.